I guess we're ready. You can ask the Lord of Doom to introduce himself.
The Lord of Doom.
Introduce yourself, Mr. Lord of Doom.
I'm Eric. I'm just Eric, man. No Lord of Doom shit. Actually, in Cleveland, they call me Doompa.
Why?
I guess I'm old. I don't know. I've been doing it for a while.
All right, here we go with the first question. Were you amazed at the improved quality of the Psalm 9 remaster?
It got remastered?
You didn't know?
No. You know, I did see the new. I did sign a vinyl for it at Doomfest in Milwaukee, and the cover they changed it. It looks stupid.
How did it get changed?
I didn't know it was remastered. Who did that?
It's newtrouble.com.
That makes sense.
Oh, that was done without your knowledge?
Of course. Everything.
It sounds nice.
It does. I haven't heard it. I haven't listened to that record in 30 years.
It's just amazing. The remaster really sounds like a completely new recording.
Is it good?
Oh, it's amazing.
Really? Okay.
You haven't heard it?
No. You know, actually, we're getting ready to do that album in, I think, Montreal on the 29th. We're going to do that album in its entirety for the 30th anniversary.
Oh, so jealous. Is that the Wings of something?
Wings of Metal. And I think we're going to do it the next night, too, at Vultures of Volume.
But
See, you have to, when you say about the names of these Doomfest, you have to go down here, like, you know, Days of the Doomed.
That's the skull thing you're doing, right?
The Skull is going to do it, yeah. So, album its entirety. We're going to do it there. We're doing it at Vultures. And I think we're going to, like, the Europe, at Barcelona. We're going to do it there, too.
Any New York dates for that?
No, not
Chicago?
right now. There might be. Not positive yet.
I have to say, when you played at BB King's in New York with Trouble, I handed you a demo CD limited to 500 copies that I actually bought at BB King's. And you asked, what the fuck is this?
I ask that a lot.
So
when I walk out the front door in the morning, I ask that question.
So you don't know anything about these things that are done?
No.
All right,
Do
Jen,
you
back
care?
to you.
Do you care about those things?
Well, I do, because it was 30 years of my life, but I don't know how to put it. So I'm not going to, I don't know. You know what, I kind of do. It's 30 years of my life, you know. I wrote the lyrics and stuff, and I don't want it ruined either, you know.
Will Run to the Light and the self-titled albums ever be remastered or re-released?
I don't think he knows that.
Well, I don't know about the fourth album, you know. That's Deaf American still owns the rights to those. Now, Run to the Light, I talked to Metal Blade about it, and we're thinking about remixing it and remastering it, which would be awesome, you know, because that was a good record. I hated the mix on it. I don't know who. One of the guys has a tape before it was mixed and mastered, and it sounds more like the first two. So the dude that did it, like, I don't know, he was on coke or something, man, and it sounds like it.
Were any of the lyrics in the early days a result of depression?
Well, yeah, you know, I can't help it. I don't have a middle. I only have highs and lows. So I tried their pills one time, and all I was middle. How you doing? Okay. So I couldn't deal with it. I need my highs and lows, you know, so.
Does that have anything to do with living in Chicago and the Midwest is very...
No, you know, you're in a band, you're the singer and stuff, and I used to call them fringe benefits. You know, you go out and you hang at the bar, and everybody wants to buy you beers and shots, and hey man, you want a line and all this crap, and you know, I was young, like, and I'm like, yeah, you know. So the Skull record's is pretty heavy. It took me like 10 years to listen to it again. You know, and people always used to ask me, are you ever going to write another record like the Skull? And I'm like, I hope not. But the ironic part about it, here I am in a band called The Skull making another record. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, man.
It's a great album. It's one of my favorites.
It's the heaviest one.
It really is.
Sure. And next year is going to be the 30th anniversary. So can you see the marquee now? The Skull plays The Skull.
Do you see any similarities between yourself and Jim Morrison?
Well, I don't know. How do I answer that? I mean, he was growing up, you know, when I started writing lyrics and poetry and shit like that. Lennon, Morrison, and Waters were my three heroes, you know. So I guess just like anybody, you start a band, you want to be like who you grew up listening to, you know. Now there's a difference between influence and copying. So I can say that he's like one of my top influences, you know. Good question.
Did you ever have an out-of-body experience? If so, do tell. You must have.
Well, that's kind of weird, you know. I've had a lot of experiences over the years, you know. People ask me, you know, like in the early days, they used to call us Christian bands and stuff like that, but we weren't out trying to save anybody. I was just exploring my life. But let me tell you that, you know, people always say the words like, do you believe in God or the afterlife and stuff? The word believe to me means you have doubt. So let me just say that I know that this is not it. And one day we'll all find out. You know, people are afraid, you know, dying and stuff. Like, it's so unknown, nobody knows exactly for sure. But I do. I've had a lot of experiences over the years, and this is not all of it. And to be honest with you, I almost like it. I can't wait to find out and ask the question, like, you know, and hear the answer of what it is, what it really is. Like, I can't wait, in a way. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna have to stick it out.
Did you play the acoustic guitar parts on the Misery shows?
Not in the studio, I didn't. But when we played it live, I did, sometimes. I wrote that song, though. It took me 2 years to write. Actually, I wrote both parts. The first part was also like an acoustic version of it. So them guys kind of took it and made it a heavy metal song, you know. So, yeah, you know, the answer to the question was no, I did not on the record.
Why did it take 2 years?
Huh?
Why did it take?
I don't know. You know, some songs take 5 minutes, some songs take longer. And that song I was working on for 2 years. I wanted it perfect. And I don't know if it is or not, but
Which part took 2 years? First part or the second part?
Just the second part. Actually, like I said, I had both parts. The first part was done really relatively fast and easy and more metal, but once we got to that record, I started sticking my nose in the music a little more, you know.
Would you agree that within the first moment of hearing you sing, the listener knows that it's Eric Wagner? Oh yeah, I do.
What?
You have a very distinctive.
Well, you know
you
what?
could just sing one note and we know it's you.
Well, you know what? I'm not the greatest singer on earth or nothing, but when I do open my big mouth, you know it's me.
When did you
Wait.
find?
Yeah. I don't know if I actually wrote that, but go ahead, Jen.
I was going to answer the second part of that. When did you finally decide on your signature style? How did that come about?
There is no, I don't know. I don't try to do anything. I'm just me. And that's, and that's what I think sometimes a lot of bands, man, they try to be somebody who they're not. I think when people ask me like, no, what would you like to say to young bands coming out? And I think it's just be yourself and be real, and don't worry about all the bullshit. If people like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. I mean, it's not in your power to predict that, so you just have to be yourself. And I never tried to be any way. I never tried to write a certain way. It's just whatever comes out, that's what comes out. And now, in these times, I think it's more like smoking now longer. It gives me my tone. I used to smoke menthol, and I was worried when I switched to regular cigarette that it would change it.
When you were around in the early days, it preceded death metal. It preceded all these hyper heavy bands, yet all the heaviest bands in the world still consider you the god of heaviness. How do you feel about that?
What do I think about it? I guess it's, I don't know. I don't see myself as that, when I look in the mirror, I'm just some dude. So it kind of freaks me out sometimes that people think like that, I guess it's funny sometimes, people come up to me, oh my God, you're my favorite singer, you're my favorite band of all time. I'm like, really, man? Mine's Lennon, or the Doors and shit. I'm like, that freaks me out, So it's flattering, it's great, It's not what I do, it's who I am. So, and that's all I know. I can't, it's not on purpose. None of it.
The Last Judgement was an amazing song. Is it true that it was recorded in a living room on an 8-track?
It is. It is true. That was the first song. And that actually what got assigned to Metal Blade was like this live tape we had, but that was the first song on Metal Massacre 4. So, it was, what's funny, when we were recording that first new song with the skull, we needed a B-side, and I'm like, well, let's redo Last Judgment. It's the 30th anniversary. And I remember walking to the studio, and the producer and Ron, I think, they were listening to that old thing, and I'm like, turn that shit off. I don't want to hear it. I want to do it now. How I feel about it now, and how I sing now, and all that, And I think, back then, I think that version was awesome, but now I think the new version is just as good. It's just different, Technology, and I'm a different person now, I guess.
After 30 years.
Maybe I'm not, I don't know. Maybe I'm still the same. Maybe I'm still the same, but different.
People are confused by the early lyrics, and they have labeled Trouble as white metal or Christian metal. Would you like to set them straight?
Actually, Metal Blade dubbed us that, because when we first came out, with the new wave of British heavy metal and all that bullshit, a lot of the bands, how they sang, Slayer, Venom, Merciful Fate and all that, they kind of sang a little bit satanic lyrics and shit. Even though they didn't believe in it, they were just doing it because it sounded heavy or whatever. At least that's my opinion. But, I didn't I was never one to be able to sing about shit that I didn't believe in, like, or how I didn't feel, you know. So I probably sang just as many Satans and Lucifers as they did, but I always thought it would be best to maybe put a little thing of hope in there or something, you know, or something positive. So that like I said, I could never sing about shit that I didn't believe in or how I felt about life or spirituality or whatever. So we were never a Christian band. I wasn't out to try to save people. I was just exploring my life and trying to figure shit out, you know, just like everybody. So does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. It's very cool. Skip that question.
What's that about? Like, what was that? What do you mean, skip it? Huh? Now you got my curiosity going.
Just read it.
Wait, what is this? Talk about the...
What? Are you embarrassed or something?
All right,
You sound like you're embarrassed.
Let's
by
talk
this
about
question.
your hair.
My hair?
Because your hair is amazing.
I get it from my mom.
But like, what product do you use on it? Do you use like the
Products?
conditioner?
You know what? I go into the shower, I wash it, I put conditioner in, I flip it back, and I go walking around.
You don't really have a particular product that you use it? You use leave-ins or anything?
No, I get it from my mom. Thank God, because my dad's bald.
All right, I think we got...
Read it.
What?
Are you afraid to read the question?
Well, I mean, all right. One of the questions is, would you like to fondle my breasts?
Well, you know what?
He wrote this,
to
by
be
the
honest
way.
with you, I didn't really think about
Actually,
it
you
until
can
right
fondle
now.
his. Why don't you fondle his?
No, because he doesn't look good to me.
No,
Like.
yeah.
But you know, now that you mentioned it, sure, why not? Suck on it, whatever, you know, fucking be good. You would like it, I bet.
All right, well, that was
Smells
one
like
of the questions.
sauerkraut out here now, don't it?
Smells like sauerkraut.
Something.
I don't know what this
Not
other
you.
question means. Talk about the modern Eric Wagner. What's...
Yeah, what's going on with the new Eric Wagner?
Oh, yeah, just tell us about the new Eric Wagner. New
You know-
hair products.
You know what? It's been a long walk through hell. I'm tired, and I think I'll just rest here for a while.
But you're still doing stuff, which is really cool. You're always doing something.
You know, I don't know. I think, as you get older, I guess there's lessons. You figure out that all this time you were really being like, there was lessons to be learned, you know. There was a reason for everything. And I wouldn't be who I am today if those things hadn't happened. So I really wouldn't change anything, you know. One of the things I wasn't born with was patience.
Well, it took you 2 years to write a song, so that's pretty patient to me.
Well, that's different, you know, but I don't know, it's just, you look at things a little different. You realize that need is more important than want, and that there are more important things in life than money and all the bullshit that goes on, you know. We're only here for a short time, and everything was put here for us to enjoy. There's only 10 rules. Have a good time, and we'll see you again.
Did you expect to be in a band where you'd be reaching out to all these people that are huge fans of you all over the world?
Well, I don't know. You know, they're the ones that listen to me. I can't answer for them. I don't know. I just kind of wrote down how I felt and how I saw things, and if people can connect to it or put themselves into that, I'm not the only one.
But if you didn't do that, what would you be doing?
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe talking for a cartoon is what I wanted to do when I grew up.
No, what did you want to do when you grew up?
I want to talk for a cartoon when I grow up.
Really?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
You have a great voice.
Well, thank you. Like, see, that's what I mean. I don't know when that's going to be because I'm still 5, and I'm still out to try to blow my own mind. So, one of these days, maybe, I don't know, when I grow up, that would be cool.
I asked Eric earlier, and I'll ask him again now for this interview. Jennifer, next to you, and I went to see Trouble at the Knitting Factory in New York City when the Gaylord from Warrior Soul was the vocalist, and it seemed to us that the vocals were so bad, and his act, he was a clown. It seemed like he shit all over something sacred to us. What was your reaction when you saw him perform the songs that were important to you?
I don't know. I'm not kind of going to really answer that question in a way. It's weird just hearing somebody sing my lyrics, because it's just, I don't know, it's just different. So it's kind of weird, I don't even know how to answer that question.
Well, I said some vulgar things back there, but as a fan, I'm telling you that it seemed almost disrespectful. I think that they should have waited until he had his own songs instead of ruining the songs that you made so incredible.
Well, like I said, it's bizarre watching somebody. I only seen 2 songs in Germany when I played with Death Row and stuff, and I had a panic attack, and it's just weird hearing somebody sing the lyrics that I wrote, because I think it's impossible for him to understand how I felt when I wrote them, I think it's just like any band, the singer is different. It doesn't make sense, it was even for me, like when like Dio, when they put out Heaven and Hell Sabbath, and I was an Ozzy dude, and when I first heard, I hated it because I wasn't ever really a big Dio fan, but when you actually, if you do sit and listen to the album, like, it's a great album, even though it wasn't Ozzy and stuff. It just, to me, wasn't Black Sabbath, So it was just the guys in Black Sabbath with a different singer to me, but so I don't know. You want me to say something bad, I know.
No. What do you think of the singer they have now?
Who? Kyle, I don't know. He seems okay. I don't really know him very well. He seems like a nice guy from what I hear. And
he sings the old stuff, so he's actually able to kind of sound...
Well, that's cool. I think a lot of people are just happy it isn't what's-his-face, Corky. I think they're just happy it wasn't Corky Clark.
Yeah, because he couldn't sing any of the old stuff, and I remember requesting, like, Pray for the Dead, and then they started it, and then they stopped playing it because...
Well, one of the problems, I think, with that dude was that he didn't respect the music or the tradition or the band or whatever, where Kyle does, And when he first joined and stuff, I sent him a little message going, just have fun with it and stuff, and don't worry about it. Because he showed me respect and stuff, and just have fun and just do your thing, and be cool, like that. And he is, and that's what I like about him,
The guitar work of the earlier Trouble reminded me of Sabbath, but much more sad, much more heavy. When that changed, coincidentally around the time of the producer working with you on the Def Jam record, what was your personal reaction to the riffing changes?
Well, I liked working with Rick, with Ruben. Bruce had a little bit of a hard time because most of the music he wrote, and Ruben kind of, it was only on us before that, and now we had some guy trying to take us to another level. And I kind of agreed to, because my background was more, like I said before, the Beatles, the Doors, and Floyd, and shit like that, Thin Lizzy, whatever, So I was looking at that time anyway to move in other directions and not, because I get bored easy. So I can't just do the same shit over and over again. I want to keep moving forward and try new things and stuff like that. So I embraced working with somebody like Ruben, and I love that record. That's one of maybe my favorite record by us, that first one. So And it made us who we are. I mean, it prolonged our career, I think, and stuff. And, you know, now the doom shit's happening again. You know, I don't know. You know, we did what we did, and we are who we are. Like, and, you know, it's like, I remember McCartney one time, they were bitching about the White Album being a double record, you know. Oh, if you made one record, it would have been great. You know what? It's the fucking bloody White record. Shut up. It's good. You know? And this is who we are right now, and that's all. And I agree with that kind of philosophy. You got to keep moving forward and try new things instead of just same crap over and over again, you know. So what was the point of doing the Skull record 5 times, you know? Really. That was that record. It's probably our heaviest record. It's fucking awesome. Great, that's that record. Now we're doing this.
What happened with you and Trouble? Why are you not the glorious singer on their...
Well, I think that I kind of answered that, I think. I mean, I'm always looking for new things, and, you know, I get bored, and, you know, we were doing the same stuff every night, and, you know, and it was like a little bit stagnant for me. I felt like I wasn't moving forward, and I wanted to do my own thing, you know. So I left again, and I did the Blackfinger album, and now I just got done with the Skull record, you know. And it's just new things instead of the same crap all the time. You know, it's kind of tough right now because I keep going back to the question about do you want to fondle her boobs, like, you know. It's fucking, you know, you fucked me over a little bit right there, like, with that.
Are there any questions you left out, Jen?
Oh, there's one that I left out because it was inappropriate, but...
Go ahead, ask it.
Inappropriate? What could that be?
Well, it's inappropriate. Hold on. Can you kiss me on the lips?
There you go. The answer is yes. Why not? You know?
You still have it, Eric. You make girls swoon. I'm not going to be able to get a word out of it for the next 10 minutes now. There's such a rush to create music, and some of it is artificial, some of it is fixed in Pro Tools, but you came from the era before this digital correction. How do you feel about recording these days?
I still love it. It's my favorite part about being in a band is writing new music, and you start with like ideas, you know, and all of a sudden the process starts and you develop the songs and stuff, and then I get them and I sit and write lyrics to it, and all of a sudden you got that, well, CD, now vinyl again, and you know, you listen to the finished product and you're just like, oh my God, you know, it started from zero and now it's this. So that part of it hasn't changed at all. The technology now is definitely on our side. You can do things now that we couldn't do back then, you know? So that's like I said, it's my favorite part about being in a band is writing new music, and, you know, playing is fun. You know, after a while that gets old a little bit, you know, you're city to city. After a while it all starts blending and being the same, you know, and like I said, more than once already, I think I get bored easy. So
you don't tour a lot. You don't tour a whole lot.
No, and I was looking for the next high, you know. And like I said, writing new songs is one of the only things on this planet that gets me high.
All right, Jen, any more questions of your own?
He didn't answer the question about your shampoo.
I don't know. I usually buy what's on sale.
Oh, come on. Mesmerized me since I was a teenager. And I'm so glad you grew it long again, because you had.
You know, I cut it off a couple times. I donated it to Locks of Love.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was cool to do, you know. And I probably made a couple kids happy, you know.
Make a nice
them
wig,
feel
a nice
better about stuff, you know.
A nice Eric Wagner wig.
Well, you know, I was in, like, I'm from Chicago, so just Children's Memorial Hospital. I was up there a few times in the cancer ward and the kids. It's heartbreaking, you know. And they're all there, they're bald and they're scars and stuff. And I'm like, after the first time I went there, I think it was before Run to the Light was the first time. And then for Simple Mind Condition, I did it again, you know. I just felt, you know, that would be a cool thing to do. Like, it's the least I could do, like, I guess. It's heartbreaking, you know. So,
very cool.
I've done it twice.
Yeah, my hair doesn't grow that fast, so I can't do that.
Well, mine grows like weeds. People ask me, what do you put plant food in that shit?
Any contact information you want on this? Contact. Facebook or whatever.
Well, you can get a hold of me on Facebook. I don't usually answer anything I don't like nothing. People always like bitch and shit. Did you like this? No, I don't like nothing. You know, I think it's stupid, the button, you know. Oh, my mom died, like. That's great, like, fucking awesome. You know? The fuck?
Drop a like. Dude. Gotta stay safe, man. Gotta illuminate.
So
no Eric Wagner website or anything like that?
No, there's like Facebook shit, you know, and stuff like that. You can see.
You have the skull thing.
The skull thing?
You have the skull webpage.
There's a Facebook on the web, Skull, Blackfinger, me. You know, there's a couple other sites.
You're all over.
I'm all over the fucking place.
Show you a picture of me and you from 1990. I want you to autograph it for me. Is that cool? Is that cool?
1990?
Yeah, I brought it with me. Well, I made
What
it.
were you, like 10?
No, I was 19, and you were.
I seen that picture. I know who you are now.
Here, I want you to autograph it.
Do you remember her breast?
Do I remember her breast? Did I see him?
No, you never saw them. Look at your hair.
So what was all about the question about would I want to fondle him? What was that all about?
That was his, you know.
It's a goof on her because she doesn't read ahead when I tell her don't read ahead, and so you'll see.
That's not a fair question on my guy. What else is there for guys? You know? Yeah.
Can you autograph the picture of me and you together?
Sure.
This was the happiest day of my life.
By the way, I take credit. I turned her on to Trouble.
Yes.
By the way, she didn't care about the music. She just liked your hair.
I like the music.
He's right, isn't he?
No, I did like
betcha.